Welcome everybody, and a special welcome to Minister Dalidakis, the Minister for Small Business Innovation and Trade. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people and their elders past and present. Today we're here to set out LaunchVic's strategic focus for the next 2 years, as we work to achieve our two goals of encouraging more people to engage in the Victorian startup ecosystem and also positioning Melbourne as an internationally recognised ecosystem. All businesses continually need to review their operations to ensure they're relevant to their customers and are meeting their goals, and LaunchVic is absolutely no different. We know what we want to achieve. We want more people founding their own startup businesses. We want a stronger investor community and easy access to talent who are prepared to do the hard yards to work at startups. We want more businesses to build minimum viable products, secure their first customers, and achieve revenues. Ultimately, we want more scalable businesses that reach sustainability and, where appropriate, achieve liquidity events. We want those successful founders to re-engage in the ecosystem, creating a virtuous cycle where we lift skills and reinvest money in early-stage companies. At LaunchVic, we think of this as a funnel, and it's shown in our strategic flyer that's available today. Our work is targeted at the top half of the funnel, helping more people engage in our ecosystem, found more companies, and begin their scaling journey. If we do our job well, that funnel will widen, meaning more founders, more investors, and more people willing to work at startups. So how should we do this? Well, following 2 successful funding rounds and establishing ourselves as a private company, no mean feat for those of you that are also establishing companies, in January, we set about reviewing our strategy. We began with consulting 125 people across the ecosystem, and many of you are here today. We also studied other leading ecosystems around the world, and we also looked at what our key strengths were as a state that can be leveraged for the benefit of our ecosystem. We developed a comprehensive business plan, and you'll be pleased to know that we reduced this down to a 1-page flyer. We figured you wouldn't read the whole plan, and for those of you that would prefer a digital copy, it's available on our website. The outcome of this work is a more focused program of work aimed at supporting our ecosystem, you guys in the room today and many of others who can't join us, to achieve the goals of lifting our ecosystem. We'll do this through more frequent funding rounds. We'll do this through targeted funding rounds that will be distributed across 4 programs of work that are targeted at achieving our 2 goals. The first program of work is diversity and inclusion. There are many people working hard across the startup community to get more people to engage in our startup community. This includes universities, education institutions, governments, accelerators, meetups, and beyond. I'd like to acknowledge the hard work that you do. There are way too many to name, but you know who you are. At LaunchVic, we want to support increasing community engagement in the startup ecosystem by specifically focusing on underrepresented groups. That includes ensuring gender diversity, something I'm deeply passionate about, cultural diversity, engaging people in our regions, and also our Indigenous Australians. Victoria has a proud and diverse and inclusive society, and while many other ecosystems are struggling around the world to address their diversity issues, it's our firm belief at LaunchVic that we should be championing and leading with this at the forefront of everything we do. At LaunchVic, we'll be putting in place more grant rounds and programs specifically targeted at diversity and inclusion, and Minister Dalidakis will have more exciting news on this in a moment. We also want to put Victoria on the map as an internationally recognised ecosystem. We have brilliant skills, talent, people, communities, corporates, and wealth. All the talents needed to create a vibrant global startup community, and we're implementing 2 programs of work to achieve this. The first is dedicated to building capability and excellence. Focusing on the middle part of the funnel, we want to better support those founders who have already established their startups. We want to make sure they've got the skills and networks to successfully grow their companies. We want to make sure more people recognise the benefit of working in startups, not just the technologists, but the people in operations, sales, finance, and marketing, because it's those people that help make our startups scale. We also want to build a stronger local investor community to address what we and international experts have identified as a weakness in our ecosystem. The focus on capability and excellence is general, It's aimed at supporting those founders that are in existence today in any discipline: health, education, finance, food and fibre, creative industries, cybersecurity, social enterprise, to name a few. We'll run programs more regularly and will provide a variety of funding opportunities to support organisations that can help us achieve our goals. We'll have more to say about this in the coming weeks. The second stream dedicated to achieving global recognitions leverages our key strengths. Research on Victoria's strengths, stakeholder consultation, and review of the international competitive landscape identified several sectors where we could have an international advantage. However, the standout was health and well-being. And by this, we take a very broad view of health. We include health services, aged care services, medtech, biotech, pharma, sports, well-being, medical insurance, health and data analytics, and security. We have a lot of startup activity in this area, and we'll have more to say about this soon. We also have tremendous natural strengths, including a world-class health research organisations with deep expertise in technology. We have strong expert markets, including into Asia, and most importantly, this is an area where we can demonstrate leadership worldwide into the Asia-Pacific region. Of course, this does not mean every startup in Victoria needs to be a health startup, but recognising our strengths does help us to position Victoria internationally, just as London and New York are famed as being fintech centres off the back of their very successful financial services industry, Tel Aviv and Maryland are defence tech, Berlin creative tech, and I can go on. Having identified health and well-being as a natural strength, we're working hard on developing a programme of work to accelerate activity in this area. We'll begin this with a deep dive review of our current activity, and we'll have more to say about this in the coming weeks. Our final stream of work is aimed at communicating the strengths of the ecosystem to help increase awareness of the Victorian startup community, facilitate engagement within the startup ecosystem, support the generation of educational content, and promote the Victorian ecosystem internationally. If we heard nothing else from you who we consulted, it was that we need to better communicate. Victoria's community needs stronger voices to celebrate what we've already achieved, in addition to communicating what we ourselves are achieving. And all we can say is watch this space.